Boyfriends, how did your girlfriend's depression nearly split you up? My girlfriend turned into a slob. I have always supported my girlfriend. She has always had anxiety as well as depression, with some months being worse than others. I have supported her through all of this and understand that it is very hard for her. In January, she lost her job due to the current state of the world. By March, she had hit a low point with not eating as much, crying, and being irritable. These are all typical traits of depression. I have comforted her as much as possible, and I have taken care of everything. However, at the beginning of June, I was called back to work. And since then, the house has fallen into shambles. I am too tired by the time I come home to do anything, even cook. Most nights, we order takeout. And on rare occasions, she makes food. She is home all day and completes zero housework. She lies in bed till late afternoon, watches Netflix, eats bowls of cereal, and naps. That's about it. I've gently tried to coax her to do more. She says she will get to it, but never does. I finally snapped and told her I was sick of her doing nothing all day and leaving all the housework to me. She needs to contribute more if she is to stay home while I'm working. She got upset and said that although she wants to, she can never find the motivation. She's just tired all the time. I said I understood she was depressed, but that isn't an excuse to do nothing and be lazy. No one likes housework, but I never find a reason not to. Either she starts doing it or she must leave. The next day, I came home to a clean house and a note from her saying she was sorry and was going to stay with her mother. Her mom helped her clean before they left. I tried calling, but she wouldn't pick up. When I called the house, her mother answered and had a lot to say. She was furious and told me that my girlfriend is struggling and that I'm making things worse for her. I should be supporting her rather than ignoring her inner struggles. My girlfriend reportedly cried in her bedroom all day, which makes me feel awful. I never wanted to hurt her. I just snapped. She refused to speak to me when I tried to get her mother to hand her the phone. It appears there's no winning in this situation. I am aware that depression results in a lack of motivation and may affect cleanliness. On the other hand, I can't stand seeing our home in such disarray. I've never had depression, so I can't say for sure how awful it is. That's why I find it more difficult to completely empathize. She has a therapist and talks regularly with her. As I recall, her depression worsened right after she lost her job. Cleanliness has never been an issue. To be fair, she persisted in her job search despite her depression. I have the resources to support both of us in the meantime. Ultimately, I realize that the majority of the blame is mine. I never should have called her lazy because that isn't what she is. I lashed out when I should have been more understanding. She stayed at her mother's for a few days, and we eventually met up to talk. I told her how it just got too overwhelming for me, but it was no excuse for lashing out, and I apologized. She also apologized, not that she needed to, and we talked for a long time about how we could make our relationship work. I expressed my concerns over her therapist. I think her therapist should be looking at other options that might benefit her. She agreed that he didn't seem to really have her best interests at heart, and she is currently looking for someone new. For now, I suggested she stop looking for work. She has had a lot of rejections, and I could tell it was making her worse. I just felt she should take a step back from that. I want her to focus on her well-being. She was unsure because she felt guilty that I would be working for both of us, but I reassured her that everything would be alright. I make enough to support us both quite comfortably. I also suggested maybe she could volunteer at some point, just to get her out and add more experience to her resume. I'm no therapist, so these were merely suggestions, but it seems to have taken some of the pressure off her, which is all I wanted. We agreed that being in the apartment all day long alone and staying in bed is not good for her. As a result, we came up with the idea that she do a 10-minute exercise video 3 times a week just to keep herself active. She has discovered that she enjoys them and that they help her feel a little better afterward. She has also recently begun yin yoga. She has 1 chore a day to complete in order to help me around the house. Whatever it is, I don't care. Doing the dishes or simply putting the laundry in the hamper could be on the list. This routine has helped her get out of bed for most of the day, and she ends up doing much more activity once she gets started. On my part, I make sure to show my appreciation for whatever she has done, no matter how little. Every Sunday will be dedicated to deep cleaning, during which we will complete all of the week's tasks. Surprisingly, this has been very effective. We make sure to make it enjoyable while we get things done. It surely makes the week a lot more manageable when we only have light chores to keep on top of. She is working on herself, and I am also working on being more supportive of her depression. I'm learning more about it as I research ways I could further help her. We are also putting a lot more effort into communicating better. I hope we keep making progress because I do love her very much and want us to work.